Hi, everyone. As people are entering and getting comfortable, I am Ellen Cooperperson, President and Chief Learning Officer of Cooperperson Performance Consulting and Connect University. I am so delighted to be here with you this morning. And as I've been saying, especially delighted to be welcoming friends and colleagues I have not seen for a very, very, very long time. So it's wonderful to have you here this morning. And like that old cliche says, the rest of the folks who are on the line, just friends I haven't met yet, but looking forward to making new ones. Also want to mention that we have on the line too people who are at every level of organizations, sole proprietors, nonprofits, business owners, leaders, at every level, people who are on the front lines. And that, I think, is a little unusual about a seminar like this, that we've got every industry, every position, and we have a common concern. And so that is the topic we're here to talk about today, very timely and important, and has very much to do with our mental and physical health and the effect that burnout can have on both of those things, as well as on our ability to produce the kind of results that we want to in our life. And again, because I know so well who this audience is and what you're up to, and knowing that it's critically important for you to produce outstanding results. And we're going to look at what's in the way, and most importantly, how do we re-energize and reignite and renew so that we have no blockage between what we're trying to produce in our lives, nothing in the way of our peace and serenity, which sounds like a big promise, so that we can accomplish the things in life that we want to. All righty, I'm pushing the Kara. It says that you're controlling the screen, and when I hit the arrow, it's not moving. So can you move to the next slide? By the way, Kara is here. She's going to be monitoring the chat room. And also that this seminar is being recorded. It's going to be recording me, and anything that that you want to say and anything that you are saying, we are going to be editing those things out. So I want you to be totally comfortable about what you're sharing on this in the seminar today. So it says, so Kara, what's the possibility?
So I just removed the remote access, so you should be good to go ahead and go to the next slide now.
Okay, and I am pushing next slide. On the subject, it's not moving. So on the subject of burnout, those of us who have been tasked with technology as a new skill that we have to learn, I want to share with you that my prayer every morning is that Zoom works, that it doesn't cause problems for me. Oh, look who's just entered. Very exciting. And so we're going to once again try to move this. No can do. Kara, I'm going to leave that in yours and Nicole's capable hands, so that, hey, oh my God, I just want to have a party for who's here today. Hi guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. They're just fixing the PowerPoint to move. Should I try it again? Okay. I know that we have some technology experts on the line too, so we may be shouting out to some of you to participate in all of this, but welcome, welcome to the folks who are here. I'm just going to keep going until I hear that we can move, and I'll try to be as entertaining as possible without PowerPoint showing up on the screen. We've all heard the word burnout, and may or may not be the way that you have been feeling over the past year or so, or how you're feeling right now. There are many definitions of it, but the one I think works for me best is all of the buildup of emotion has gotten me to the point of I'm on my last nerve. Thank you, Kara. So just a fast question, Kara, do I have control of it or do you have control? I always like to know who's in control.
I have control over it right now.
Okay, so I'll be asking you to move.
Yes, that'd be perfect.
Thank you very much. So, you know, that I'm on my last nerve. And if one more person or thing steps over that or on that, it's not going to be pretty for me or them. All right. And I know, you know, all of you that I've known for many years, I'm very calm and very centered, but the pressure does build up. I want to tell you. And as it said in the material that we sent out, even the best and the strongest of us has had a very, very hard year. And I want to say, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of leaders on this line. And this has been an unprecedented year of having to make decisions without any roadmap and relying on one's decision-making abilities to figure out what's the right thing for my organization, for employees, for myself, for people on the line, for my family. And that's been challenging. And as I said, frontline folks who have had an enormous amount of responsibility, figuring things out for the first time, a lot to do. I do want to say that I am not going to do this presentation as sage from the stage. You know, I am a visual aid of what can happen when the pressure does build up. And when I got COVID about 15 months ago, I guess now, was a real turning point of looking at, I was arrogant enough not to think that I was going to die because I have absolutely too much to do. There's too much on my list. But what got really clear is about the quality of my life and that I really want to live. And that meant making some changes in how I'm dealing and responding to the buildup of pressure, because I realized I needed a relief valve. So I just want you to know, this is going to be an interactive conversation. I'm very interested in what you all have to say. We're going to leave some time at the end, 15 minutes at the end, for us really to have more dialogue. But as I said, the chat button is open, so please feel free to let us know your thoughts all through. Kara's going to be monitoring it. I'm going to be seeing it as well. And it's not going to be visible to all of you. We don't want too many distractions going on, but we're going to invite you to do that. Okay, so let's start with what's stressing you. And as I mentioned, the chat box is open. So I'd like to begin, if you would just jump on your chat and share with us what has been stressing you? What has been the buildup of pressure for you over this past year? Or even now, as you come to this. So just feel free, let us know what's been coming up for you. Okay.
So Ellen, unless I'm doing something wrong, we can only send a chat to you or Kara, not to everyone. Is that how you want us to do it?
Yes, Nilda, thank you. Yes, it's just to me or Kara.
Oh, Ellen, I don't want to interrupt, but if everybody can send it to me so that way I can monitor the chat, just like Ellen is saying I am, that would be fantastic so that I could see them.
Okay, everybody good? And shout out to Scott. I know you're on the line, the technology guru, so I feel so secure that you're here and backing us up. So let's hear okay. So some of the things I'm seeing coming up, and Kara, if you could just move to the next slide. I just want to get it up, and I'm going to be sharing some of the things that I am seeing. All right. So seeing the need for work-life balance, chaos, that it's been a chaotic year, leading and communicating in a virtual environment. This one I can relate to, having to learn and rely on technology. Fears and concerns about businesses closing, fears and concerns about money and financial security, the kids at home. Kara, other things that you're seeing?
I'm seeing similar things, balancing work-life responsibilities, lots of projects, large workloads. We've got some COVID, of course.
Okay, I'm seeing also working 24/7, trying not to miss out on opportunities, staying focused. You see the list goes on and on. Consistently having to deliver bad news to customers. Thanks, Jeff, for that. Yeah, one of the things that's been coming up a lot is price increases, breakdowns in the supply chain, the unavailability of talent. We can go on and on. I mean, it'll deplete everybody's level of and spirit if we continue on that. But the idea is that the pressure builds and builds and builds. And it's very much like a pressure cooker. I don't know if I'm dating myself here, but there used to be, pressure cookers with a little spigot on the top. If the spigot wasn't open, the spigot was designed for the steam to come out. And if it wasn't open, there's two things that can happen if the pot is on the stove, even on a low flame for a long period of time. Two things are going to happen. The lid is going to blow off, or the pot's going to implode. And that's what burnout is about. So here's what we're going to cover today. What is burnout really by definition? What are the stressors on you, which we'll cover just a little bit. We'll do more. How is it affecting your life and your business and your health and your ability to produce the results you want? Important question. What's really causing burnout for you? Because we're looking at all these outside issues. But what I'm alluding to here is that the pressure is on the inside. So what's causing that? What can we do to change how we're responding to it? And I've got that up here as habits, that we're going to talk about the problem, but we're also talking about the solution. How to re-energize and ignite, action steps. And as I said, we're going to leave time for handle all of your questions. Okay, so Kara, could you advance, please? All right, so here's what I'd like you to do. Just real quick, a few seconds. I want you to think about words that describe burnout to you. Okay, what is it to you? Good, I'm seeing exhaustion, no energy, drained, can't deal with it anymore. Just go to the chat box, give me a word that describes it for you. Frazzled, thanks, Corinne. Depleted. Yep, great. So let me give you the definition of burnout. Energy depletion to the point of exhaustion. This resentful, thanks, Ryan. Yeah. Energy depletion to the point of exhaustion. And I was thinking about a term this morning that I learned many, many, many years ago that I'd like to write more about. Metaphysical cannibalism. Not a great term. Where all of your spirit and your energy gets sucked out and eaten. So there's nothing left. Anybody relate to that? Right? Just like drained. And what happens when we get to that point is distancing, isolating, negativity. And I just don't care anymore. Don't care anymore. And for folks who care as passionately as you do, that's a hard place to get to. Okay. So folks, please mute, please, if you're not speaking. Okay, I'm unmuted again, hopefully. You can all hear. Yeah, I'm muted. Thank you, Lisa. Am I good now?
Good to go, Ellen.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So what happens when we get to that place of negativity? Now, the isolation is, again, because we're determined to produce results and do a good job. What we do is pedal to the metal. We push harder. We try more. We do more. We isolate. We don't talk about what's really going on. We don't have necessarily a God squad that we reach out to and say, you know what, I'm on my last nerve and I need help. The pressure just builds. And, you know, I was talking about being the visual aid. I got this when prior, to actually coming down with COVID. I was in a business meeting with another compulsive worker like myself. And we were, and I was starting to get anxiety and palpitations. And the person I was working with said, you know what, Ellen, I think we need to go to the emergency room in the hospital. Of course, I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't need anything. All the way to the hospital. She drove me. This is a business colleague. She drove me all the way to the hospital. We're still talking business. In the hospital, I'm hooked up to monitors from my heart. And she's at my feet with a laptop and we're still working. And there's like a little person that showed up over my head that says, does this seem a little strange to you that you are going to do pedal to the metal lying in a hospital connected to a monitoring machine? Now, I wish we were in a room so I could see all your faces, because I would say now, can anybody relate to what I'm talking about? I see a couple of faces. Could anybody please just give me an amen here? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. And the less effective, so here I am powering through and less effective in starting to make mistakes. And yes, amen, I got there. You know, trying to power through, ignoring all of the signs. And then I did a seminar live like this. We've got a wonderful, wonderful crowd of people here. And I go up on stage, I introduce myself, and honestly, 2 minutes later, I can't remember if I introduced myself or not. I thought I was losing my mind. Okay. And someone shared with me that she was in such a hurry, how she could relate to this. She was in such a hurry that she had to go to an appointment. She didn't look on the board to see where the office was of where she was going. She said, oh, I'll figure it out. Runs into the elevator. And I'm sure you can relate to this. I'll figure it out. I think it's on 2. Then rides up in the elevator, up and down, and then has to go all the way back down to the floor again to look at the board. And what is that? The multitasking that we do on a regular basis. Oh, it's fine. I'll do it. Let's speed, 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 run. Okay. So Kara, could you just advance that, please? So the effects. I'm describing it. Number one, this is not sustainable, what I'm describing, obviously. There's not only a negative impact on our work, but also on our relationships. Because where do we take it? To the people who are close to us. At home, our kids, our coworkers, never our customers, of course, but people close to us in our life, and it has an effect on the relationship. And now we're in, because of these, you know, the pressure cycle of, you know, drive harder. And as I said, we are in an increased risk of having physical symptoms that get worse and worse and worse the more we want to keep driving through. I thought it was very interesting as I was doing the research on this, not only the ones that we know and hear about all the time, but tooth loss, gastrointestinal, respiratory illness, skin conditions. I didn't even know about that. So if any of you are seeing breakouts, that's what's the problem. Okay. And just gonna let that sink in for a moment. So we can continue. Now, what have people tried to do to get their energy back? This is a very important point. During the stress of the uncertainty of the pandemic, you've been reading about what people have been trying to do to get their energy back. They've been reaching out more and more for more food, more substances, more drugs, more alcohol, more work, all of the things that are depleting their energy more, just giving them fast hits. And so we now have epidemics like we've never had before, because people are trying to get quick ways of energizing. Okay, Kara, could you move to the next slide, please? Okay. So I've hit some highlights here of the cause, and I'm not going to spend too much more time on this. As I said, I don't want to depress the heck out of you. There really is a solution, guys. So one of the biggest issues is feeling out of control of what's going on. When we don't think or feel that we have any control over what's happening to us and the circumstances outside of our lives, this pressure starts to build. And what I keep pointing to is the buildup of emotions. Now, I'm talking to a business audience here. We don't have emotions. I think that's funny. I hope you do too. We're all cognitive. We live here. But the fact is, there's something going on emotionally. And as I said before, we need an outlet for it. So what's going on? Fear of what we're going to lose or not get. When you think about it, the frustration when things don't go your way. Behind the scenes, 2 minutes before we went on, we were still dealing with get the PowerPoint up. Okay. That's not my area of expertise. Trust and rely. Okay. What we can't control, and the fear of what we'll lose or what we're not going to get. How is it going to look is a conversation that comes up in our head. As Ryan had said, one of the things in the chat room, resentment, the resentment that builds up. Life's not going our way, the anger. And as I said, when people ask us how we are, what's the answer? I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay. And the acronym for FINE, F-I-N-E, effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. That's what FINE really means. So the next time somebody tells you they're fine, just know that's really what they mean. Okay. All right. So let me just give you a fast hit, and then we're going to move to what are we going to do about all this. Your personality profile, and those who know me know I am a very strong advocate of getting very clear about what our profile is, and I'm a very strong advocate of the DISC profile as a quick way to look. But if you are a type A personality, also known as driver, that is cut to the chase, what's the bottom line, don't waste my time, not a lot of patience, needs to be in control, sense of urgency all of the time, you can see how this can get built up. We don't take time for the assimilation and the reflection on what's going on. We're jumping from one thing to the next thing. Then there's a personality profile of people pleasing and caretaking and needing to be liked, where everybody else comes first and you come last, and no time for rejuvenation. The other one is compare and despair. I think some of you are going to really like this one. No matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, it's never enough. Never enough. Because we're constantly comparing ourselves to, oh yeah, but it's not. I remember doing a program, I did a television show, and my dad was in the elevator with me after it. It was CNBC or one of those things. And the producer got on the elevator with me and my dad and started to rave about what a great show it was. And of course, I was thrilled, because my dad was there. And we got off the elevator, and my dad looked at me and he said, well, it wasn't Oprah. God bless him. But the point is, what we heard, what was done to us, we do to ourselves. And I'm going to suggest that one of the things that we do is we give ourselves a consistent message called not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough. Anybody got an amen for me on this one? Or is that just me? Thank you. Whatever you do is not enough. Oh, I gotta. My own staff. That's great. I can relate. Not enough, not enough, not enough. Never have enough money, not enough recognition, not enough approval, not enough work, not enough of anything. It's never, never, never enough. Okay, obsessively worrying, scattered, cluttered. This expression that comes up a lot as I work with people, they say to me, I'm all over the place. And the need to be able to focus on one thing at a time. So again, I will say multitasking is one of the big culprits here of trying to focus on too many things at one time. And the other word that comes up a lot is overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. The plate is too full. I cannot fit one more thing. And we beat up on ourselves. Something's wrong with me that I can't fit one more thing on this plate. Perfectionism, overscheduling, perfectionism, complete lack of having compassion for ourselves. And I say, you know, we'll get to solutions in a minute. What would you say to a 4-year-old who's talking to themselves that way? What would you say to your 4-year-old with compassion about what's going on? Making work the center of our lives. And here's a big one, and that is the word dishonesty. And I don't mean lying to anybody else. This is a very, group of people who are very committed to their integrity. I'm talking lying to ourselves. Here's how the lies go. Oh, it'll only take a minute. I'll just do one more thing. An hour. I'll get up early and I could start at 4. Oh, I'll only stay. I know I said I was going to stop at 6, but I can't stop unless I get this done. And now it's 9. And time that we said we were going to spend with our family. And we're never out of the work mode, even when we're there. Okay.
Ellen, just to bring up, we're at about 11:35 now.
Great, thank you. I asked Kara to give me the time so I can make sure that I had a 5-minute warning before we get to 15 minutes and discussion. Okay, so Kara, you must move the slide to the next. All right, twofold problem. Physically, we're hooked on our own adrenaline. We're hooked on the drug of adrenaline. All that pressure that builds up, that go, 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 is releasing a hormone, releasing a chemical in our body that we have gotten so used to going at that level that it becomes normal to live like that. When the adrenaline starts to go down, there's a feeling like something's wrong or missing. So it's a physical connection to getting high on our own chemical, number one. And then there's the mental obsession, twofold. So it's a physical condition and a mental obsession, which is I got to go, 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 go. And the promise, what's the carrot that's being held out? Money, prestige, success, whatever success means to you. And, being a top producer, praise, acknowledgement, being important, whatever it is, there is a driver of success. And we're hooked on that obsession. Okay. So Kara, let's jump. All right. Now I want to just say, there's an expression that says, you spot it, you got it. And if what I'm saying makes you mad, you got it bad. Okay. So just want you to know that. Okay. And even though I've been talking about what's the downside of living like this. What mental health and physical health practitioners have figured out and understood is that, Kara, just jump one more slide, please. That even though we know what the consequences of all of this, it's not that you didn't know. It's not that we don't know. What they've discovered is even when they tell people they're going to die from this, only 1 out of 9 people change their behavior. Only 1 out of 9. So even though we've got a beautiful crowd here, making the decision and having the willingness to take action on what we're about to talk about, no one else can do this for us. We have to decide, I've had enough. And I'm willing to take the next right action. How do people go to the gym? Here's the answer. They lace up their shoes and they go to the gym. And what gets in our way is the conversation in our head called, I don't feel like it. Not today. Today's not a good day. I'm going to stop eating, but it's my birthday. Okay? Or it's a holiday. Not today. The stories we tell ourselves. So I say to you, we have a choice. We can continue to do it to the gates of hell, or we can change. That's the choice. I don't know any other door. That's it. And as I said, nobody can do it for us. I wish they could. I wish, and for many of us, I'm sure you can relate. Here's what people want to do. They want to go to the 10-step program on how to change. They want to read some more books on how to change. Let's go to another, I'm just going to shoot myself in the foot here. Let's go to another seminar on how to change. Okay? But change, that's a different story. Now, I do believe that without accountability and without support and without assistance and help, it's relatively impossible to get out of our bad habits, because that's what this is. We'll talk more about that. And the way we're going to change all of this and break these bad habits is by taking one small, teeny weeny step at a time. Because you can leave here and say, you know, hopefully, some great ideas here. Absolutely right. And then I want to do it all. But it's not possible. So I'm going to move here. Kara, can you jump to the way out? I want to give you all some relief here. There is a solution. But we got to start small. So one more, Kara, just give me a jump here. All right, so I'm going to give you some suggestions, and then I'm going to give you a list that you can choose from, and I'm going to ask you to choose just one, okay? So number 1, surrender. Surrender to this is real, and surrender doesn't mean I'm hopeless. It means I've been trying to do this on my own, and it's relatively impossible. So I have to try something new. My ways don't work. So I got to try something new, something like lacing up my shoes, okay? And there's a price to pay for changing our habits, of course, but keep it small. All right. Self-compassion, I've talked about a little. Yes, this is hard. Be kind to yourself. Say nice things to yourself. Halt. When you are hungry, angry, lonely, tired, please remember this word: halt, stop. Your body's talking to you. You need a break, even if it's to breathe. Prior to us coming on, and Kara and I do this before we have business meetings. Take a breath. Take a deep breath. And we take a deep breath in and we say, great, Hal, I'm going on holiday. We're going, take a breath, close your eyes, picture palm trees, calm breezes, breathe in the good stuff, let out the bad stuff. Our grandmothers were right. Take a breath. Okay. Which leads to the next one, which is PPP. Pause, pray, proceed. And what's the prayer part? Ask for guidance. I have a friend who calls it SID. She said, I ask SID. Strength, as for strength, inspiration, and direction. And if we don't stop and pause when we're agitated and just take that breath, pause, pray, proceed. And I don't want to get anybody charged, with the religiosity of that. All I mean is get quiet, tune in inside, talk to Sid, ask for strength, ask for inspiration, ask for direction. What's the next right thing for me to do? Okay. Do something nice for yourself every day. If you like, you can just call my office line at the end of my message. That's what it says. You can listen to every day. Do something nice for yourself today. You have a complete to-do list of all the things you're going to do. Please put on there one nice thing I'm going to do for me today. Okay, I have notepads, by the way. The first item on that list, do something nice for yourself. So please remember to do that. Not isolating, please get a God squad, people that you can reach out to for help, yours truly included. And of course, we need to have people in our lives who make us laugh. I also want to point out that with the pause, pray, and proceed, you are juggling lots and lots of balls. For the people who are on the line with me, who I've had the privilege of working with in coaching, I've mentioned this. We have too many balls, but the point I want to make to you is some of those balls are glass. They're made of glass. And if we drop them, something important is really going to shatter. And I say we cannot. I don't know about you. I've tried juggling, for real. Maybe with a lot of practice, I can do 3. I know I can do 2, but 3 is a lot. And so I'm going to invite you, what are the 3 glass balls that I cannot drop? That's the priority for you. Fair enough? Okay. All right, last slide here, and then I want to get to your questions. Here's the ritual. How do we re-energize and reignite? Some of these suggestions that I've just made, I just want to share with you. My own morning ritual, and maybe this will be helpful to you. Wake up in the morning, and I need quiet time. It is so distracting. I don't know how people start the day with the internet, with the bad news, with the television, with all the influx of all this negativity that starts the day, that gets everybody's blood pressure crazy. I would say start the day, please, with quiet time. For me, it's prayer and meditation. And that means, I'm asking and I'm receiving. That's what meditation is. And by the way, if you would have told me that I would meditate, I would have told you you're smoking something funny, because no way in the world would I do that. But what I've learned is if I don't take Somebody just popped out and says, whoops, I start my day from answering emails. All right, good. Hopefully this will, be a wake-up call. That if we don't take the time to get quiet, to ask and listen for an answer, you have an amazing intuitive ability that I really want to encourage you to trust. The answers will come. The thing is, we're all blocked with these things that I've been talking about. Gratitude. If you can't come up with 3, come up with 1. Just 1 a day. I'm grateful. I'm grateful the sun is shining. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that on this line are people I have known for years and years and years. And by the way, I must say, you honor me to be here today and our relationship. Gratitude for all the things we have, as opposed to the despair and compare of what we don't have. Let's take a look at what we do have. And that's not something you've just heard for the first time. This is really about, will I do it? Will I have a gratitude journal where I write it down at the end of the day? This is what I'm grateful for. Here's what went right today. We don't have any problems at the end of the day thinking about what we did wrong. No problem. That seems to just pop right up, right? So I want to encourage you to force ourselves. What did I do right today? Last one. Engage in healthy relationships. What you want around you is winners who want you to win, not the destructive people who want you to lose. Okay? We need to have positive people around us. If the negative people around us happen to be family, okay, but we got to limit some contact. And we got to take care of ourselves and know that in those situations when we're going to be around negative people or people that suck all the energy out of you, that you got to go in with some armor so that we're not vulnerable. If you're all depleted when you go into those situations, you have a weakness of that vulnerability and a guarantee to bring you down. Okay, we cannot go into negative situations without armor on and protecting ourselves. And of course, finding a mentor, a coach. I would be remiss if I didn't offer that and suggest that our line is open 24/7, which only means we take messages 24/7. Okay, happy to be of service around all of this. Okay, now because Kara's giving me the high sign and we're right on target, I'm going to give you the list and I'm going to ask you, please choose something. Kara, can I have the last slide, please, of action items? There we go. Okay, so now to choose something, either something that you've heard in this conversation today or something from this list, to choose one. I will only work a maximum of, you fill in the blanks. I'm going to take a Sabbath day. Remember, some of you may remember, I'm dating myself. Things used to be closed on Sunday. And in some neighborhoods, things were closed on Saturday. Even God said, you know what, I'm taking a day off. And by the way, step back and didn't say, oh, that's extraordinary. All she said was, that's good. It was good. Okay? And I'm going to take a break. Everybody good? I'm going to work a maximum of X hours a day. Fill in the blanks, whatever you want. I'm going to stop working when I am in halt. I'm not going to allow work to encroach on the time I commit to my family. I'm not going to drive like a maniac. By the way, there's so much road rage going on now. It's just unbelievable. okay? I'm not going to blame anybody else for my stress. Bad spoiler alert. We're doing it to ourselves. I'm not going to say all that stuff going on out there isn't hard, but we need to have a way of dealing with it on the inside. And these are some of the ways that I'm offering to you. I'm going to get X number of hours of sleep. I want you to know this is the one I'm working on right now. And are we going to screw up? Yes. Okay. I say, oh, I'm going to sleep at, and then I need to unwind. And it's not 10 o'clock or it's not 9 o'clock. And I feel it the next day. There's a price to pay for stepping over this, but I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm going to say at the end of the day, how can I do this differently? How can I do this better? And that's how we need to break these habits. Choose one, focus on it, take action, reflect, did it work? If it worked, great, keep doing it. Didn't work, what can I do better? Okay, so I really want to hear what questions you have. Kara, how much time do we have?
We have about 7 minutes.
Okay, great, wonderful. All right, I said 15, so I apologize out of integrity here, but I will stay on the line. And of course, I am available to all of you. Love to hear from you. Okay, so what's the payoff? Living a life you love and living it joyfully. That's for sure. I want to give you a few minutes to gather your thoughts and any questions that you may have. And while we're at it, I just want to mention the follow-up to this. I will be doing a seminar called From Couch to Corporation, which is for people who are doing too much and want to move into mission control, as opposed to the long, endless list that goes on and on and on and on. So to follow up to this, also I have another webinar coming up at the end of the month, October 22nd. I'll be doing Getting Along with Anyone. And I want to add a caveat, without giving yourself up. So that's free, and you're most welcome to join us. And as I said, available for coaching. I also have a 15-minute Coach Express. So if you're on the ledge and you feel like you're going to fizzle out, we have a service for people. You just got to make a call to get off the ledge. Okay, enough of that. I want to hear what you've got to say. Kara, just give me 1 minute before we have to end, because I just want to say one last thing to everybody. So let's find out what your questions are. Feel free to let us know in the chat or unmute. What questions or comments do you have for me, so that we get to hear from you? Anybody? Okay, Jeff Greenstein, hi. Probably way too long of an answer, but I look at most of the things on the action item list as, Jeff, I don't see the last words.
So I said that, I look at the items on the action list as sort of taking your foot off the pedal. And I think that I've always been successful by keeping my foot on the pedal. So you sort of see where I'm going, fear of failure if you let up. So how do you sort of take some steps to overcome that? And that's why I said it's probably too long of an answer for what's probably now 5 minutes, but wanted to put it out there.
No, absolutely, Jeff. And thank you so much for the question. I think a lot of people on this line can relate to that. And it's one of the reasons we don't take our foot off the pedal. And we've gotten a lot of rewards. The fact, though, is that there is a price to pay for not stopping. And that's what this whole presentation has been about. So if we can just do one small thing to take care of ourselves, small, because you're absolutely right. What's in the way is the fear of giving it all up. So you don't have to give it all up. We just have to start adding something that refuels not only the spirit, but quiets us down a little bit so we can make better decisions. We've made too many decisions on the fly, and our minds are going all the time. I also see this last comment I'm going to make. I work with a lot of CEOs who are retiring now or looking to retire, and their whole life, and sales professionals, exemplary sales professionals like yourself, Jeff, who whole life has all been around work. And now what? And so it's been such a part of their identity. They don't know what to do with themselves now. So I offer it to you. And Jeff, is that at all helpful to you? You're on mute.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your question. Okay, who else? Carrot, stuff coming up in the box.
Just have some commentary. People are definitely taking a lot away from this. We have somebody saying that they're going to start a gratitude journal, start meditation. I know I certainly will too.
Great. Okay, I got one. Thank you, Kara. From Catherine. Can we get that question back up on the screen anyway, Kara, or is it gone, or do you see it? From Catherine.
I'm not seeing anything from Catherine, no.
Okay, Catherine, can you unmute and tell us what your question is? Unmute.
Yeah.
There.
I'm just thinking, it's one thing to look at yourself and what you can do, but I think it's really, it makes life easier when you can get the rest of the team on board and your superiors on board. So I was just wondering if you have suggestions when you're working with a team and you have, bosses that you have to answer to who might be emailing you at, 11 o'clock at night. How do you get everybody else on board with some kind of pacing, balance, self-care?
Beautiful. When we change, an amazing miracle happens. People around us start changing.
Mm.
So one of the things we're missing is boundaries. And we need to find ways to be able to say no, which, by the way, is a full sentence.
Yes.
Okay.
Ellen, we're at the last minute, just to quickly let you know.
With the full sentence, okay?
That's
So
great.
yes, we need a really good way of being able to say no to our bosses, because it's, it's not a word we like as a boss, I will tell you. But when the folks I work with tell me what they can do, I really like that. Okay, I want to know what you can do, not what you can't do. And then we can negotiate, okay? Because we don't think about what we know is we want to get it off our plate. And once we got it off our plate, we don't think about, and this is the way bosses think, once it's off the plate, I'm on to the next thing, especially if you're working with high Ds. It's like, what's next, what's next, what's next, okay? So we have to find better ways of saying no. Does that help, Catherine?
Yes, that's great. That's great. I love it. Thank you.
Terrific. Oh, I see Patricia Williams. Welcome, Patricia. Great to see you. You're on mute.
Ellen, we're at the 12 o'clock mark, just so that you're aware.
Patricia, you want to unmute? Just to say whatever?
I just wanted to say this is a wonderful, wonderful webinar. And I can say as a retiree, there is even more in terms of an audience that can be reached. And I just touched down on one thing that was said, a lot of things you said, but I think in moving forward for those of us in that area or component, if you mentioned find a mentor, and for us, find a mentee to share all that we're doing. That takes a load off of us. It makes us humble when we're sharing, and to tell us how, and I think this is another webinar that you would really do well with us. Tell us how we can take some of this stress off of us, because we retire and we feel we still want to show that we're relevant in this world, and we take on so much volunteer work. How do we
I love
deal
this.
with that?
It's a wonderful way to, and, you're getting hearts here, Patricia. God bless you. And by the way, Patricia has done a life of service, and we thank you for it. And this is a great way to end. When we get to a certain place, I guarantee we start thinking about not so much legacy, in the ego traditional sense, but legacy from what am I leaving behind that are breadcrumbs, that is a path that give people something to fill their hearts and to learn and to not have to make the mistakes that we've made. Those of us who have gained some wisdom in life, it's been hard won. And what do we leave behind that is of value? And if we can leave something, as I pray that I have left with you today, something of value you can use that's going to make your life better, that you can share with others, because that's how it works, to pass it on and make other people's lives better. And I tell you that the more we share what we have, the more we give away of that, the more we get to keep it. So I would say, God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here today, for gracing me with your presence. And I look forward to hearing from you all. It's always a joy.